right, we're live. We got one person in already. How are you? Gone. No one's here yet. Sit here for a couple of minutes. Let's see. All right. Hey, RH, how are you? Can you hear me fine? Three people. RH, can you hear me? Yeah, okay, good. All right, cool. Thank you. Nico, Salty Texan, what's going on, guys? How are you? We got 10 people. We're going to wait for a couple more minutes for some more people to come in. How are you, okay? Okie. I'm doing well. Got a lot of rest today. Actually, I fell asleep for a little bit. Woke up and decided to do this. It was good. It was really good. First time I made my own corned beef and cabbage. It came out pretty good. How was everyone's day? Good? Bill's story is good. I like Bill's story. Really? Bill is a badass. He really is. That picture in the video. That is Bill. That's a real photograph of him. We are about 26 degrees and clear in upstate New York. How about where you are? '70s, damn. We'll be there shortly. We'll be there. I'm actually getting amped up to go hiking and stuff. What's up, Thomas? Yeah, Victor doesn't train people like that. He trains, it's a specific thing that he does. 50 in eastern Kentucky. That's still great weather right there. I'd rather have 50 degrees than at, what is it, probably 10:57 where you are. So, hey, Jane, how are ya? Happy belated birthday to Jane. Even though I wished her a happy birthday first thing in the morning. We're about 24 people. We'll get started in a little bit. I got some things that I want to do with you guys tonight. Talk about some things, some pretty interesting stuff. Recent stuff, actually. What's up, Rob? How are you? Been snowing in the UK. We had a little snow last night. Bigfoot, how are you doing? We had a little snow last night. It was 45 yesterday. And then I looked out and it was snowing at night. I was like, dang. Thanks, Enki. Appreciate that. I think, there's pretty much no sense of saying, hit the like button. What's up, Larry? How are you, my friend? Because, I'm never going to get the exact like for the exact people here. Probably some people that hate me anyway. I don't know. Today you did, Jane, in Connecticut, huh? When I went down to Connecticut to go to that Paracon, the driving was crazy down there. Congratulations, Larry. Congratulations. That is an accomplishment. Holy shit. That's awesome. What's up, Pickle Rick? Oh, yesterday you did. Okay, wait, it was sunny here yesterday. That's weird. That doesn't surprise me, Rob, because there was a historic account of a Dogman in Manhattan. Your audible is rumble? What's that mean? Is my audio good, guys? Because my Wi-Fi is great. How about now? That's weird. How about now? Is that any better? Let me see. Is that any better, guys? My volume is down. I'm trying to figure out what's going on. Talk some more, less boomy. Perfect. Can hear you loud and clear, though. Reverb. Let me try something. Hang on, guys. Just bear with me. I'm going to try something different real quick. You guys aren't going to hear anything for a second, okay? Hang on. All right, how's that, guys? Can you guys hear me? Can you guys hear me now? Hello? Yes, okay. All right, it's better? All right, good. Yeah, I was just using the mic on the computer. That's what I was using. Originally I was using the mic from the computer. All right, so it's less echoey now? Good stuff. All right. Shit. Oh, so everyone had a good week so far? Well, I'm glad you got to catch me, Big T. Thank you very much. I appreciate that. It's your Tuesday? That's awesome. I wish I could take a week off, but I really can't. Mentally, I just couldn't do it. Oh, okay. Nothing yet. Just the information that I shared the other day. Nope. Nothing. If I do get any information on the Border Patrol agent, I will share it immediately. And I haven't spoken to Victor. I sent him a text 4 days ago just to see if he was still kicking. And yeah, he was. So I'm feeling all right. What's up, Thunderbolt? How are you? I got a little rest today. Thanks, Larry. I appreciate that. I really do appreciate that. Yeah, I just kind of exhausted, and I just really needed to just take a day to myself, and which I didn't, because I still uploaded 3 videos, and now I'm doing a live stream. So, all right. So we're about 60 people in, and I guess we'll start with some stuff that I wanted to share with you guys. So I was looking at I was reading some information, and I stumbled upon this. And it was, thanks, Thunderbolt. I appreciate that. You know I do. Hey, Susie. So this is from Military Times, the observation post, and it came out on March 9th at 10:41 a.m. And it's pretty interesting. This isn't like the Inquirer or anything like that. And hey, Karen, how are you? It's actually a this is the first time I've ever seen the Military Times do anything like this. That's why I figured I'd share it with you guys. Yeah, it is a legit publication, and because normally they don't delve into the strange. So, Military Times, the observation post. Pentagon UFO chief says alien mothership is in our solar system possible. March 9th, 10:41 a.m. There is a possibility that extraterrestrial motherships and smaller probes may be visiting our planets in our solar system, the head of the Pentagon's Unidentified Aerial Phenomena Research Office noted in a report draft shared Tuesday. An artificial interstellar object could potentially be a parent craft that releases many small probes during these close passages to the Earth. An operational construct not too dissimilar from NASA's missions, Shane Kirkpatrick, director of the Pentagon's All-Domain Anomaly Resolution Office, wrote in a research report co-authored by Abraham Loeb, chairman of Harvard's University's Astronomy Department. Kirkpatrick, who was appointed as the director of the AARO when it was founded back in July of 2022, previously served as the chief scientist at the Defense Intelligence Agency Missile and Space Intelligence Center, so DIA. The AARO was established to investigate unidentified objects of interest around military installations, according to the Pentagon press release. Loeb, on the other hand, gained notoriety when he proposed our solar system had been traversed by its first extrasolar visitor in 2017 of October. At that time, the Pan-STARRS telescope in Hawaii detected an object moving at the speed that caused some scientists to suggest that it originated from outside of our solar system. The object's orbit also hinted that other forces beside the sun's gravitational pull influencing its movement. Scientists dubbed the object the Oma, a Hawaiian term for scout, which Kirkpatrick and Loeb offer in their research paper as an example of a possible mothership with probe capabilities. With proper design, these tiny probes would reach the Earth or other solar system planets for exploration. As the parent craft passes by within a fraction of the Earth-Sun separation, just like Oma did, The authors explained astronomers would not be able to notice the spray of mini probes because they do not reflect enough sunlight for existing survey telescopes to notice them. The research paper, titled Physical Constraints on Unidentified Aerial Phenomenon, comes following a month of intense scrutiny of unidentified flying objects. A stringing trend ignited when the Chinese spy balloon captivated the nation by drifting across U.S. airspace. 3 additional unidentified objects were subsequently found. On February 16th, Senator Marco Rubio, Christian Gillibrand, and 12 other senators sent a letter to Deputy Secretary of Defense Kathleen Hicks and Deputy Director of National Intelligence Stacey Dixon, calling for full funding of AARO. The Biden administration previously funding request for fiscal year of 2023 failed to fund anything beyond the office basic operating expenses, the lawmakers argued. AARO provides the opportunity to integrate, and resolve threats and hazards to the U.S. while also offering increased transparency to American people and reducing the stigma. The lawmakers' letter stated AARO's success will depend on robust funding for its activities and cooperation between the Department of Defense and the intelligence community. So, hey buddy. So I am going to make an appointment with Christian Gillibrand's of office and see if I can talk to her a little bit about that. And hopefully I can get a couple answers, which will be cool. So, I thought that was pretty interesting just because, you don't hear too much information like this coming out of a publication that is science-based and military-based too much. No, Abigail's not here. Isabel is. But yeah, they are very straightforward. They don't really tend to... oh, hey, buddy. Both my daughters are here. They don't tend to really share anything other than the truth, So, yeah, well, I didn't see them because I was reading this article to you guys, but now I see both of them. I saw Isabel, I didn't see Abigail. Well, I don't know, turn your volume down because I'm using my boom mic and I'm not going to mess around with anything right now, so. How's that? Is that any better? Guys? Sounds decent. Does that sound better than before? Is this any better now? Alright. Yeah, I turned it down just a touch. How about now? La la la. We're not getting any yellow, so that looks good. Okay. Well, apparently I can't do anything right, so maybe I'll just stop the live stream. I don't know. So I grabbed this book at a used bookstore a while ago, actually. And it's called Green Mountain Ghosts, Ghouls, and Unresolved Mysteries. What's up, Paul? How are you? Yeah, you can email me. I'd love to hear it. And there's some paranormal in here, but what got me was that there's some cryptid stuff in here as well. And I figured I'd share a couple of things from Vermont right next door to me with you all. And then we can kind of just shoot the shit and see what's going on. Isabel was not the one that had the experience. It was my daughter, Abigail. No, I haven't heard anything more of anything like that. If I do, I'd share it with you guys, definitely. Vermont's going dancing this month. Congrats. Abby's 18 and Isabel's 15. Isabel was in the video with me when we did the Conjuring House. The Goatman, there's been a couple of accounts on Goatman and stuff like that. It's all right, good. It's all good, Mark. Don't worry. I'm my own mod and I do the thing, so I'm good, brother. Thank you, though. So, no, there wasn't any ETA on the UFO. It was just something that was in Military Times. If you want to read the article yourself, guys, look up Military Times, the observation post from March 9th. Pentagon UFO chief says alien mothership is in our solar system. It's definitely really cool. That picture was from Lewis. He has an alias because he doesn't want to use his real name. And I almost gave out his real name. But he had taken that photo one day and shared it with me that same day he took it. Hang on one second. There's a couple interesting things in this book. That's why I grabbed it. Give me 1 second. Sorry, guys. What's up, MS? How are you? So, there's been a lot of sightings of Champ, which resembles the Loch Ness Monster and stuff like that. It was on 93. But then there's some other kind of bipedal cryptid ones in here that I wanted to share with y'all. Here we go. This is actually a historic account, and this is a historic account actually going back to Samuel Del Champlain. So it's called Old Slippery Skin and His Kin. It can be argued that Samuel J. Champlain was Vermont's first cryptozoologist, though I'm not sure he ever used that term. Probably never called himself a monster hunter either. But when he ventured here in 1609, not only did he hear about weird aquatic creatures, but he also learned of then immediately disregarded tales of another Green Mountain monster. It's a monster that is still cited to this day. and is still disregarded just as prevalently. Encounters not rare. They've been routinely covered by various media, yet many Vermonters are surprised and probably shocked to learn they are sharing a state with this particular monster. What is it? Let's see if you can figure it out. Perhaps the first recorded sighting of our mystery monster was in 1759. During the French and Indian War, Major Robert Rogers of Northwest Passage fame and his Rangers were returning from their attack on the St. Francis Indians just south of the Musquoa Bay. Rogers and company encountered a beast. One of the Rangers, a scout named Duluth. Thanks, Rockin' Steady. I appreciate that. Yes, I will. In Duluth, they kept a journal in which they describe, this I think is a Dogman, okay, in Vermont from like 1700s. They kept a journal in which he described a creature as looking like a huge black bear that would throw large pine cones and nuts down on us from trees and ledges. Smart bear, yet this canny creature was no stranger to local natives. They even had a name for it, Wajuk, meaning wet skin. Vermont's earliest settlers recorded many similar visits from Vermont's elusive zoo. Town histories are full of run-ins with the very odd creatures. One notable example was repeatedly encountered in the township of Morgan, Maidstone, Leamington, and Victory in the late 1700s and 1800s. This fearsome oddity came to be known as Old Slippery Skin. The creature was said to resemble a huge bear, but unlike any known bear, it was walking upright, like a man. Hang on a second. I thought I saw something. Okay, sorry. Like a man, it was said to have a mean disposition, and sometimes it sought revenge against individuals who had offended it by filling up their sap buckets with stones or terrifying their children. Sometimes just for fun, it destroyed fences, tore up gardens, frightened livestock, and flattened cornfields. Then it had a way of disappearing by carefully backtracking in its own prints, leaving a trail that ended abruptly and mysteriously. In her History of Leamington, Vermont, privately published in 1976, Marion M. Daly relates, "The story is told that an old bear once terrorized this part of the country for many years and committed wholesome destruction. He was a mean animal and evidently had a grudge against humans. He destroyed their fences, ripped up their gardens, frightened their cows, sheep, trampled down their cornfields, and caused no end of mayhem. The settlers came to refer to this creature as Slippery Skin, for the reason that he managed to elude every trap that was set for him. He looked like a huge bear, the stories relate. And he always ran on his hind legs, never on four. Before a hunter could lay his gun sights on him, the old creature would vanish into the woods, silent and swift, like a drift of smoke. He is said to have left tracks as big as wagon wheels. His legs, in fact, were compared to spruce logs, and for what it's worth, told to squeeze the sap out of maple trees when he felt inclined. For maliciousness and cunning, it is claimed that he would never be compared except to humans. He seemed to enjoy himself immensely, frightening humans, livestock, kicking over manure piles and throwing stones at machineries left in fields. Where this creature came from and why he eventually disappeared entirely is a mystery. Mystery indeed, or old folk tale, or maybe something else. In 1815, Vermont Governor Jonas Galusha promised to get rid of Old Sleeper Skin once and for all. Known as an excellent hunter, the governor organized a hunting party and entered the Maidstone Woods, where the beast was last seen. Galusha, so the story goes, had covered himself with the scent of a female bear, then gun in hand stalked the pesky critter alone. Shortly, the governor came whooping and bellowing back to camp, screaming, "Out of my way, boys! I'm bringing him back alive!" Old Slippery Skin was in hot pursuit of the governor. The hunters scattered, and no one thought to shoot. These stories, hovering between tall tales and historic hyperbole, have enormous charm. Thanks, Teresa. I appreciate that. Hovering enormous charm. So easily overlook the fact that today we have no idea what this creature actually was. So to me, it looks like a bear. They're explaining it looked like a bear. So that would mean that it would have a snout, right? And if it has a snout and it's walking bipedally, because we all know bears can walk bipedally for a very short period of time, to me it sounds like that would be a Dogman. What are y'all talking about in Texas? Let me see what I missed. Weather. Has anyone seen Jim Baker in here tonight? The sun is setting in a different place? No, I haven't noticed that. But yet, the world, what's up? I'll be sorry. Oh, I love, Jesus, Larry. Thank you so much. And congratulations again on your black belt. 15 years of Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu. Our cryptid's bigger in Texas. Everything's bigger in Texas. What's going on, IE? Yeah, but who would be my running mate? I live on the border. Recent tourist incident watcher chapters. I don't know about that, my friend. I really don't. I would suggest just staying away from that area. No, they have not seen anything as of recent. Just the last picture that I shared here. But I did promise Rock and Steady that I would hit some Black Hawk helicopters. They look like a very narrow kind of helicopter. They're narrow and long, and they're fast as hell. Congratulations, NKY. What's going on, Karen? What's up, Qzat? Quazo? Yeah, Blackhawks are fast. Yeah, I've heard about that, Blackhawks being in Texas a lot. Blackhawks are fast, but people don't realize that the baby birds are just as quick, and the military and these kind of interagency things wouldn't really, I mean, they would use a Blackhawk, but more or less they would use a baby bird, which is a smaller, faster helicopter. The Night Stalkers use them. They're a lot quieter, more easy to equip with Little Bird, yeah. More easy to equip with lightweight guns, and actually can't carry people. they're a lot quieter than a Black Hawk would be. They actually, during Black Hawk Down in the movie, you can see a couple of the little birds flying through the sky there that accompanied the Black Hawks, because they're quick and very stealthful. Yes, dogmen are very opportunistic. The Marines use ospreys, right? I believe that's typically the Marine vehicle of use, is the osprey. Montana. Okay, so yeah. I don't have too many Montana ones. I've got one, and I'll share it really quick. All right, guys. This is for Rockin' Steady. 07 to 14. Yeah, I heard the ospreys are not very graceful of a ship, I guess that would be. All right, so I hope this email finds you and your family in good spirits, my friend. Well, I'm going to try to explain this the best I can. The very first encounter ever was when he woke me up out of a dead sleep looking down at me. Once I opened my eyes, there were a few minutes. He didn't know how I was going to act, so he gave me a look that said it all. If you scream, I'll come in and tear you apart. And there is nothing you can do about it. I pulled my sleeping bag over my face and started to whisper to my cousin. I got his attention, although his back was facing the window to me. I told him there was a werewolf looking at me and for him to stand up really fast before it leaves. Holt then said, turn over and go back to sleep. If you don't bother it, then it won't bother you. Although that isn't what I did. I looked back up at this creature with its self-illuminating yellowish-green eyes. I saw human intelligence in those eyes. I saw exactly where I stood on the food chain. After some time, I needed to sit up Indian style, and we just stared at each other, although I can't say for how long. This was in the early 90s when we moved up here, so I was going in the 5th grade. Over time, he would come around the house peeking in the windows. He was around 8 to 9 feet tall. He could stick his hands over the second-story banister, and his eyes would be from the floor of the second-story deck in the bottom 2x4, if that makes sense, and he could see into the living room upstairs. We would be playing games downstairs, and Coleman would see him in the reflection of the TV and run into his room screaming, it's here, it's here. Over time, this Dogman and I would stay up at night and just talk to each other without talking, if that makes any sense. We always had a window between us. Over time, I could feel where he was without seeing him, although there was always this predatory sense about him for the most part. I wouldn't feel threatened by him yet. There were times I would feel his presence was stronger for some reason. And I remember one time I was running around a gravel circle we had outside the property. I felt him up to the left of me, and I got the sense that I needed to get back to the house, so I did. I would back up slowly and head down to the gate. There was this one time we were all coming out of my room, and my uncle, me, Holt, Coleman, and my aunt. My uncle stopped and bent down with his arms outstretched, preventing us to cross. Immediately, I knew he was there. I knew where he was, although I couldn't see him. Now I know my uncle wouldn't do this to a grizzly or puma. Plus his guns were to the right of us, not even 5 feet away. My uncle said, don't move, don't breathe, don't blink. Yet the moment my uncle raised back up, I ran to the kitchen window and started to knock on the window as he was walking up the hill by the side of the house. As I knocked and waved, he kind of just gave me a sideward glance with his eyes and continued up the hill. I remember his arms almost hitting the ground, so they were long. He had a tail that curled up a little. He looked like a gray wolf with white and black face. My uncle and aunt started telling me and my cousin to get away from the window and asked what we were doing. I simply told them that I was waving to the wolf friend and that we would talk at night when he would come around. You should have seen the look on their faces. Anyway, there was a time when I was coming out from upstairs bathroom and I saw him looking in. I started running up to him to jump on the couch and say hi. I stopped midway. His eyes squinted and he gave me this look. So I slid down the stairs on my side because he was on the other side of the wall. As I came to the downstairs living room, my two cousins, Holt and Coleman, were downstairs. Well, we started to get into it. Holt pinned me against the wall. They started calling me a city slicker like they did. I started whimpering and whining. As Coleman was starting to come, he slapped me on the side of the house. Then I saw the creature peek around. Then Holt turned. Hang on, I'm trying to get to some good parts of this. This was a very early encounter, so it wasn't really written great. I'm sorry. I really can't. I don't even know. Nothing against the person that wrote it. It was just poorly written. And this was back from 2019. I guess I remember what this person had going on. I don't remember the exact location in Montana that it was, but he was young and he missed his family. And he kept seeing this Dogman and kind of just had a friend with it, made like this mental friendship with it in his own head and stuff like that. So rockin' steady. Thanks, brother. Jesus. I was invited to leave the woods once. Got the heck out of there. Haven't been hunting. Thank you for doing this. No worries. I don't know if dogmen eat mushrooms. I imagine they would eat anything that's accessible to them. TW Bicknell, have a good night. Yes, everyone, don't forget to change your clocks. You know, speaking of the little helicopters, I had a subscriber when I first started the channel, and he lived in California, and I want to say it was around the San Bernardino region. And he was living with his dad. His dad was really sick, and he had seen a Dogman kind of up in the pole line region of his house. He kind of lived like out in the woods a little bit, but not really. And he had seen this Dogman running through the woods, and shortly thereafter, he had seen a bunch of black helicopters flying around in the region. So I really think that if there's like a sighting that has been called into like DNR or something, I think they may be using these helicopters to track the creatures. Dogman on a drug high. Oh my god. Would that be like cocaine Dogman? Like cocaine bear? Chinooks are the big ones, yeah. Let me see what else we can. Two rotors. Yeah, they have the two rotors. The Chinooks have the two rotors. They're friggin' huge. Chances are, yeah. Watch your show, but never heard Colorado much. I heard of encounters here. Have you? I have a lot of them from Colorado. Actually, when that lady got killed by the bear, I talked about that. Jim, where is that? Is that in Texas? You know, there was an account from Florida that had kind of a Dogman connection. I shared it once, and it was just, I don't know. It was kind of hard for me to get behind. You know what I mean? It wasn't from a subscriber. It was from someone else, and the guy, I guess it was in Florida. And I think that's part of a big reason why, because of where it was in Florida. It wasn't in like rural Florida or, you know, out in the sticks. It was kind of like inner city. And the guy said that he had seen a UFO land and dogmen had come out of this craft. And I mean, yes, I've heard of, thank you, Randy. I've heard of like alien beings that supposedly look like dog men, but this one was just, you know, I mean, I wasn't there, so I don't know, but it was just how it was told that I just, you know what I mean? Like I couldn't back it. The corned beef was great. It was actually really good. It was a trial run for St. Patrick's Day. Because I've never done, Arkansas, because I've never done a corned beef, cabbage, potatoes, but it was pretty good. Yes, they are as smart as humans, William. You were here last week asking the same questions. Paula Hawk is in the house. So what I did was I took the corned beef and I boiled it, and then I drained it, and then I put the corned beef back in and filled it up with cold water, and I put a teaspoon of sugar and a splash of vinegar in the water while it boiled. Cut up the cabbage, threw a bunch of those little tiny potatoes. I threw in a little pack of that and a small pack of carrots, and it came out real good. So I think I'll be good for St. Patrick's Day dinner. I just wanted to do an experiment, you know. Thanks, William. Portals and cryptids are scary. I think the one portal experience that just, when I hear portals, I think of two. Thanks, Jane. It was good. It was actually really good. I think of two experiences when I think of portals. One was the first one didn't have a cryptid. It just was the portal. And this guy was driving in his car And he was in a national park. I don't remember the national park. And they drove up to this part of the road, and they saw this kind of like weird shimmer. And then he, of course, kind of got a headache and stuff. And then there's that one by Skinwalker Ranch where the hunter was sitting on a ledge and he had seen this creature just drop out of this portal. And that one really freaks me out. I'm not a big fan of that one. Because, I mean, I can deal with Dogman and Bigfoot, but when there's a portal and some unknown creature jumps out of it, then I'm out of the picture. I don't even want to be involved. Thanks, Mammy J. Hall. Has anyone seen Jim Baker? Yeah, I gotta have Jane back on because Jane just recently had an experience, and I gotta have her come back on and share it. She's got one hell of a scary Bigfoot encounter. Jane, do you mind if I share that encounter right now? If Jane says it's okay to share it, I'll share it. Do you guys want to hear Jane's encounter? Jane, is it all good if I share that encounter? Okay, so I'm going to share Jane's Bigfoot encounter, and then I've got to touch bases with her to get her Dogman encounter. So Jane had just gotten married, and they were on their honeymoon. And they were kind of camping. They had a pull-behind camper. She had 2 Doberman Pinschers at the time, and they were just driving out west. I don't remember the exact state. I've got it written down in the file. Jane, what state was that in? Jane, what state was that in? Montana. Yeah, okay, so rockin' steady. Here's another Montana experience for you. So Jane then they get out onto a pull-off, and her and her husband camp for the night. They have a little fire, they're cooking and stuff and just doing some good stuff. I got it now, thanks Thunderbolt. And they then put the fire out and go back to bed, or they go to bed. They get into their kind of little tow-behind camper. The Doberman Pinschers are on the floor sleeping, and they were great dogs, well-behaved dogs, and very protective. So couple hours go by, the fire's out, it's dark, it's nighttime, and she wakes up and she sees this kind of light flickering, and she looks out her window and it's the fire's going again. So she's like, what the hell? And she sees the silhouette of this huge creature. The dogs are kind of whimpering, laying on their pillow thing on the floor, and they were so scared they had peed all over themselves. So Jane and her husband are watching this creature outside of their camper by the fire, and all of a sudden Yeah, it was swaying side by side. And so the next day they get up and they get out of this little area that they're in, and because they were kind of like off the road, just deep wherever, and they get to this country store, and she's walking around the store, and her husband is at the counter talking to this old guy, and the husband tells the owner of the store what was what they had experienced that night, and then the old guy, not being pervy or anything, said something along the lines of, "Ma'am, is it your time of the month?" And Jane kind of looks at him like, "What the hell is it your business?" Like anybody would, I mean, it's what the hell kind of question is that? And she said, ironically, "Yeah, it is." And he said, "That's why it came into your campsite, because it was drawn to your scent." And so Jane had that, just blew her away. And that was Jane's Bigfoot experience in Montana. And she just recently had a Dogman encounter in Connecticut. And I always thought Connecticut was kind of like the suburb of New York City, until I went down there to a Paracon this past summer. And there's a lot of woods, and now I can see why there would be Dogman, Bigfoot activity in that area. So, yeah, I can imagine pit bulls, any dog would be hiding. I don't drink MER. I've said it a million times. I don't drink or anything on my channel. I don't drink at all. I don't do anything. Oxford is close to Taylor, Mississippi. Yep, it is. It's a mellow yellow. Just like last week, we got the mellow yellow. The 2 weeks prior, it was the Chuck Norris water. Which, if you ever see Chuck Norris water, don't buy it. It's absolutely shit. It tastes like, I don't even know. It tastes like river water that is not purified. I just got it because Chuck Norris. Bulletproof vests wear Chuck Norris to stay safe, And I guess it's supposedly from his Lone Wolf Ranch in Texas, and I could not imagine Texas producing water like that. Like this, it tasted like it came right out of the Hudson River, downstream by the city. What's the deal with Taylor, Mississippi? Yeah, it's a hot spot. Dark Waters had an experience in Taylor, Mississippi, and my friend and the channel's friend Luke had, his whole family had encounters, 5 generations of Dogman encounters in Taylor, Mississippi. It's Chuck's hair coloring. Probably is. He's got to be over 80. Got to be. Taylor has always been a hot spot. It's, I get content from Taylor all the time. Well, I don't anymore because Luke moved out of the area. Yeah, I only had my one experience. I've had some other crazy experiences with paranormal, and why I believe probably is bottled from the Cecil, and or Cecil, however you say it. Me and my cousins were playing with a Ouija board, and I really think it has a big reason why I saw my Dogman experience, but I did a video about that a while ago. Chuck Norris is 83. Wow, holy shit. I always want to go to Alaska. Dogman Island is in Louisiana. That's not the board that's in my house, though. That board is long gone, and two of my cousins are dead because of that board, and I believe I should have been too. First rule of Dogman Island: don't talk about Dogman Island. Second rule: don't talk about Dogman Island. Yeah, dire wolves, and it's in Australia, in Alaska, the dire wolves, or creatures that were considered dire wolves, the Wahila. But just recently, Joe Rogan had a guy. He interviewed a miner, a gold panner, and a guy who now has he has bones. He found these bones in Alaska, and they said that dire wolves never existed in Alaska, and this guy proved them wrong, and that dire wolves were in Alaska at one time. Yeah, they are no good. Smokey and the Bandit. Haven't seen that in a while. You know, this is crazy. I've been binging old Miami Vice lately. Black Eyed Kids. I hate Black Eyed Kids. My daughter Abigail was obsessed with those things, man. Obsessed with Black Eyed Kids. She, back before YouTube became what it is now, when YouTube was kind of, I guess, a little better than what it is now. There was a couple of videos that I can't find anymore, but they had Black Eyed Kids on them, and there were some that were really freaky, and that's one thing I don't want to see is a Black Eyed Kid. There's been sightings in upstate New York. I think there's been sightings all over the world about these things. I believe the first recorded sighting is from England, if I'm not mistaken. I probably am mistaken, but I think it was that guy that, yeah, send them to me, please. Hang on, Charles. I'm going to put my email in the comment section right now, brother. All right. The kid saw a bipedal dog several times. Teresa, I'd love to hear about that. Can you please email me? Luke was forced to move. Charlie, my email is right above your last text. Okay, cool. My email is right above that. double aught buck to it. Dude, there's this new round for shotguns that I just picked up. I think it's Winchester Defender. And it's a 1 ounce slug followed by 3 double aught buck pellets. And I was like, damn, can you imagine, like, that's just crazy. The origin of my logo, it's I came up with it. I created it. I've had it, God, since probably 6 months after I started the channel. I came up with that idea. Are you not taking encounters from Ontario, Canada anymore? I don't get any that from Ontario, Canada anymore. If I got them SMA, I'd take them, but I haven't gotten any from Canada in a long time. Yeah, it's a cool round. I think they're called Winchester Defenders, and it's like a 1 ounce slug followed by 3 double aught buck. And then another Winchester Defender, it's 9 double aught buck in a shell. Yeah, we're hungry, or we can't. Can we use your phone? Black-eyed kids, can we use our phone? Can we use your phone? And stuff like that. Yeah, the Caltech. I've got a Caltech. All right, cool. Thank you, Paul. All right. Oh man, Paul, I'm sorry. Jesus, I apologize. Yeah, I just narrated your encounter, SMA, right? I believe I did. I feel like the biggest schmuck now for calling him. Man, I'm sorry, Paul, brother. But I can't wait to hear your experiences. Yeah, that's not a creepypasta. Black-eyed kids are not creepypastas. They're definitely a real entity. I know there's creepypastas based on these things, but they're definitely not a creepypasta. Giant spiders. We talked about giant spiders last week and the week before. There's only like a couple of accounts of them. Couple in Canada. I think one in Canada, right? And oh shit, I got a subscriber, speaking of giant spiders, a subscriber just sent me, she got a photo on one of her trail cams, and it looked like a giant spider, but I don't know if it's a giant spider or if it's a spider hanging from her trail cam. 50 cal will put down a Dogman. A 50 cal will put down anything. Jesus. Yeah, giants. But like the giant spiders, I think Thunderbolt's talking about is like the size of humans. And fuck that, man. Nobody wants to see a giant spider. Ugh. I don't mind spiders, but I don't want to see one that big. Dang. Yeah, AOS. I'd love to see it, please. I love these live streams. I've only been doing them for like 5 weeks now, and they're fun. You know, I think it's a great way to get to meet you guys and just hang out and shoot the breeze and talk about anything we really want to, you know. I heard people say encounters. What is that makes the black-eyed kids so terrifying? They have black eyes. That's what makes them terrifying. They have no origin. There's no origin about them. And anyone who lets them in their home dies. Victor's spider story. Yeah, but that's so small. It's only like seconds, you know? Yeah, I hate spiders, man. Spiders are gross. The green skinned children, the 2 kids that died. Thanks, Ace. Nah, I don't got any info on the fairies in the UK. I'd like to talk to that old guy, though, from United Kingdom and see what he's got kicking around his brain about those things. I don't know, Mark. I think those kids were, like, subjected to some... You know how, like, mercury poisoning and other toxic metals can, like, turn your skin blue and stuff like that? I think possibly they had been exposed to something strange, you know? I got bit by a brown recluse. What was that, 2 years ago? For those of you guys who remember, I know Jane remembers. Remember when I got... A lot of you guys probably will remember. Thunderbolt will probably remember because he's been with me for a while. Jane, Inquisitive. Remember when I got bit by that brown recluse on my leg? Yeah, it was bad. I put my pants on, and I felt this, like, pain, this unimaginable pain, and all my skin in the back of my leg turned black. I went to the hospital, and I still have the scar on the back of my leg from it. It's still, I don't know if you guys will be able to see it, but it's still, Jesus. Here, hang on. See the back of my leg? That's where it bit me. It bit me, like, right here in all that part of my leg. That's like hard, dry, dead skin. And it was friggin' terrible. Yeah. Dude, they're no good, man. Fuck spiders. I almost killed myself getting up on that chair. The aging process sucks, man. I'll fall and break my ass. Dude, it hurt so bad that my skin around the bite turned this, like, really blackish color. And maybe I will start an OnlyFans. And getting up on the chair and showing my spider bite, it was just the worst. Oh man, it was terrible. Yeah, it's healed now though. It's just all this hard skin. I don't know. I forgot what the doctors did. I was in the hospital for like a day. I was screaming, "Don't fall." I almost did, though. I don't know. Spiders are terrible. Rockin' Steady. That's later. Later on OnlyFans. No problems anymore. Camel spiders are not a spider, though. Camel spiders are not toxic, and they're not as big as they that was like this YouTube like creation lie. They're big. They're like that big, but they don't bite. They're more of a scorpion. They have 6 legs. Their mandibles are sharp, but they don't. They have no venom. It's just a myth that people created. Like they do run in the shadows, so they don't burn their legs and stuff. That's all right, John Boy. I can understand. Yeah, camel spiders. But they're not like, people are like, they run in shadows, and, you know, they'll stalk you and this and that. My cat always attacks me. My cat's a dickhead. Yes, they are a whip scorpion. Yeah, they are in Texas, I think. A smaller version, though. Time slips. I've got a couple. I haven't really done any of them too often. Speaking of salty Texan, one of the scariest bipedal feline was out of Texas. Where's my phone? Let me see if I can get it. Hang on. Hang on 1 second, because there was a really crazy bipedal in Texas. In Texas. Hang on 1 second. I'll see if I can get this. Here we go. All right. I forgot all about this. I believe this is the one. No, this isn't it. This is from Cedar Hill. Is this the one? I have a bunch of encounters saved on my phone. I'm sorry, guys. I'm not ignoring you. I'm trying to find the Wampus cat. No, this is not the Wampus cat. This was something different. And feline. Boop. All right. Where the hell is it? Cat. Here it is. Here it is. Here it is. I got it right here. Okay, this is really close to where, this is almost where the Border Patrol agents were. This story comes out of that area. All right. Working 30 years as a police officer, I've seen a lot of weird paranormal stuff that cannot be explained. There are so many caves along the Rio Grande River that have not been explored. There are also lots of irrigation channels that are unkept. These channels are strategically placed throughout the valley along the border in case Falcon Dam or Atlas Dam overflow. Inside these channels are huge underground man-made ducts that look like apartments. Some have 12-foot ceilings and some have tunnels that lead to other rooms. I guess this would sort out the water overflow to different channels. I saw several dead bodies, some decapitated, some bound, some partially eaten by unknown type of wildlife. It didn't reach media, but at the time, there were about 12 homicides. Same MO, bound feet upside down in trees, degutted, intestine, heart, liver, stomach set aside. They were supposedly rituals, but some of the corpses did not look human, and some were found by exploring kids in these ducks. I could have sworn the one I saw at Chimron on Sherry Road had broken wings. This happened in the late 80s. I wish I had pics to show. But yeah, it may have been a humanoid or a gargoyle offspring. I once saw one leap 30 feet across the road on all fours. It stood up like a man. It was slender, hairy, about 5 feet tall. It stared at me while I was in my police car. I stepped out and kept it at gunpoint for a few seconds. I didn't know what it was. It resembled a human, but leapt like a cat. It then jumped about 20 feet into a tree. I was a rookie in 1987 and chased it. I tracked and found its foot sign. It was like human elongated foot with paws. The sighting was on Searchenbach Road, south of the 2 Mile Road in Mission, Texas. Crazy, I saw another near the Roma Bluff. I was on a special assignment with La Migra Border Patrol, hunkered down with M4 rifles. I had to piss, and I found an isolated spot. It was uphill on a boulder, just upriver from the Roma port of entry. I thought my piss was falling like a garden hose. The hose then moved away. It scared the crap out of me. I swung my M4. I had been waiting for a dope crossing, but this was too weird. As my hand motioned to my partner to watch my 6 while I went down to look, the same freaking type human-like cat creature peeked out from behind the boulder. It was 10 feet in front of me. I froze, but I yelled at it, "Get down, asshole." It didn't respond, but then it stared at me, looked away, and leapt 30 feet high into a brush. Of course I chased after it, but my partner saw it too. We called our team down slope to be on lookout. As soon as we called them, it ran past them. They couldn't make out its face, but it was the same creature. Yes, I believe there are supernatural creatures out here. They're very real, but you just gotta be there at the right place and right time. Retired police officer. Ugh. Mission, Texas is, yeah, that's where it happened. So the police officer was, I got a couple of crazy ones from Texas. Texas has got some weird crap there. I don't know if it's because of the state being so large or what, but yeah, I've got one experience from South Dakota, and I'm trying to get the lady to come on. I talked to her on the phone for like an hour, maybe a little longer, and I didn't record it or anything. I should have, but she didn't give me permission to record it, so I didn't. And so I just, but yeah. Eventually I'll get her to come on, Strange or Savage. Hopefully. Nightmare Hall. That's my favorite place, man. I really need to learn. If I have a place that, all right, so you know how we all like think about Dogman and cryptids and stuff like that. Nightmare Hall is is the place that gets my brain going. It just really, really does. Do I have black ops stories? Meeker, Colorado is a black ops story. Luke, some other things like that. I've got 20 different dumb encounters on my channel that I've done. Yeah, Dark Waters did make the migration pattern. That's the one thing he and I disagree on. I think they don't migrate. I think they just travel, but he did. And if you look at that, if you look at certain maps like that and you map them over, yeah, it freaks me out too. The Meeker, Colorado one is insane. I don't know. Thanks, Charlie. I know you have, actually. What's Paranormal Witness? Is that a TV show? Here, I'll look for another crazy encounter. I never saw Paranormal Witness because I don't watch TV too much. Here we go. Here's another Catman experience. Speaking of Catman, hang on one second. I'm trying to get a really good one for you guys. The encounter in Midlands, Texas. All right, you guys ready for a creepy one? From Midland, Texas. Here we go. Hi, Isabel. All right, hang on a second. When I was 13 years old, my family and I lived on 300 acres of private property owned by my family located in the area near Midlands this is in South Carolina, in South Carolina, surrounded by deep, dark woods and without a single neighbor for miles. It was incredibly lonely. One day after school, at around 4 in the afternoon, I was playing in the woods near my house. I suddenly noticed that I didn't hear any birds chirping or anything. For that matter, it got oddly quiet. Then I felt it, that feeling you get when you know someone is staring at you, which makes you very uncomfortable. But this was far worse. I looked up in the tree, and about 20 feet ahead of me, about 18 feet in height, I saw this brownish, clay-colored, blood-red-eyed, pterodactyl-like human. It had bat-like winged arms and sat hunched on its back, spindly legs, as if it could leap into the sky and take flight at any moment. You could see its sharp claws gripping the branch it was perched on, and although I couldn't be exact about its height, I knew it was several feet taller than my 5'7" frame. In its glaring, tiny, beady eyes, you could see intelligence. The way it looked at me made me feel like it would swoop down and take me away at any moment, watching us like it was seconds away from deciding whether to hurt us or not. It stared at me and my sister with such hatred that I immediately gasped and started screaming, hoping that, like birds, it would be scared away from the loud noise. I started screaming for it to shoo and leave, but it did not leave. It only continued to stare at us with these red, beady, bulbous eyes, hate beaming from them. I picked up a large rock and threw it, but it had no impact whatsoever. It didn't move, only continued to stare at us. My sister and I ran inside and got my dad, who, upon seeing this thing, ordered us to stay inside and lock the door. He said not to come outside for anything. But when I saw my dad grab his shotgun, I just had to see what was going to happen. So I ran to the back of the house, hopped out of the window, and snuck up beside the porch just in time to see my dad fire a warning shot overhead with his shotgun. You could hear the remaining wildlife scatter and run away in the distance, but this thing never flinched. It only continued to stare. Now at my dad with the same intense hatred. You could feel it. Then he fired a shot in its direction, but this half-man, half-flying creature remained unmoved, unnerved in the tree. I ran back inside and found my dad locked all the doors. The sun started to set. My dad made us promise not to go back outside. For as long as the fading light remained, my dad stood in the kitchen window, gun in hand, staring. I remember never seeing my dad looking so nervous, confused, and scared. He was a military veteran, a college graduate. He had his flaws, of course, but in no way was he unreasonable. I asked my dad what it was, and without taking his gaze from the window or his gun, said, "I don't know. Don't go back outside tonight." That was pretty creepy. Yeah, the metallic noise, like with the Tom Bezic thing. Actually, I don't know when I was up at the... Joy, send that encounter to me, please. I'd love to hear it. There was one time when I was up where Tom Bezic disappeared, and I was standing on a ridge, and I heard this weird kind of, I don't know if it was I don't know what it was, but it was like a booming noise, and it was just a very strange sound that I heard up there. Mr. Baker. Is Jim Baker here yet? Where is that bald little... It's not the same without Jim Baker here and his crude comments, huh? Yeah, I saw that too, Charlie. Did you send me that picture? A couple different people sent me something like that. Hanging with Tammy Faye. Oh, we're for... Okay. I don't know what is going on with my sound, but I've been doing this for an hour and a half, and, so it's whatever. I think it sounds the way it does right now through my computer because I have it set at a different setting than when I record. Yes, get that bunny story. Pitch black and human-like texture. E. That's not cool. Let's see if I can find another pretty cool encounter. I'm making you want to smoke a cigar? Sorry. What do I got? I got a couple. I got the Maker's Mark cigar right here. I got the Monte Cristo. I got the Romeo and Julieta. And the Olivia. The Maker's Mark ones are great. Just back from the Michael Bolton concert. Wow, that is definitely a switch from Michael Bolton to Dogman encounters with Jeff Nadolny. All right, let's see what we can find for you all. Let's see. Bing, bing, bada boom. These are just encounters that I've got saved on my phone from you guys and stuff like that. Here's a Dogman encounter from Kerrville, Texas. Billy Idol. Going to see Billy Idol. My daughter Abigail loves Billy Idol. I think I'm going to go to the Guns N' Roses concert this year. Joy, share that activity with me when you email me, please. I want to hear that. All right, so here's a Dogman encounter out of Kerrville, Texas. Back around 20 years ago, I was visiting my great uncle in the region around Kerrville, Texas. At the time, he was living in his first house in the area before he moved to a retirement community near a small set of trees. The trees were beautiful, really, as the hill country. I was staying with him and my great aunt for about a week when we went out on the evening walk, his dachshund, as we tended to do in the evenings. The walk was uneventful as the sun set, just a normal evening, complete with calls of doves and other wildlife, and the dogs just having a wonderful time. Then suddenly all the wildlife went deafening silent, and both of us froze, as did the dog. I remember having a distinct sense of unease and fear that I couldn't quite explain, the dog looking directly in a specific area near the streetlight. My eyes turned to where the dog was looking. There was a creature loping through there, a dog-like thing around the size of a large bear, save its neck and head was the size of a bear. This thing was loping up and down the way that fitting kind of build. It looked hypnotic in a sense, and I was more terrified than I'd ever been with anything I'd ever seen. It gave me a visceral understanding of Lovecraft's idea of things that just look fundamentally wrong are terrifyingly precisely because the proportions do not fit. That thing was powerfully built as well. The upper limbs in particular were very stout. The dog remained frozen for another few minutes before we moved back to the house. I'm not sure what precisely it was, or if it was a Dogman, but it convinced me that something like these things could exist. The sudden silence that lasted for a few minutes after it left, the dog just being frozen without even growling or barking, still sends chills in my spine when I remember it. As my only encounter with something like a cryptid, too, it remains something very vivid in my mind, not least because I know how dogs move. I know what wolves would move like, and whatever this was, it was no natural thing that made sense. The head was so massive that it dragged the body down when it moved. It had a very fluid aspect to its motion at the same time. Also, not an easy thing to forget because of just how it looked. Wrong. Head goes down, back limbs go up. Head goes up, upper body goes up with it. All in this fluid motion, to be as specific as I can. Yeah, that was creepy. What time do we set our clocks ahead? Do we set them ahead or behind tonight? Ahead, okay. At like 2 in the morning, right? What's up, Stephanie? Alright. I'm going to do one more experience. And then, actually, guys, give me 1 second. I want to check on my daughter, and then I'll be right back, okay? I just want to see if she's okay. Alright, I'll be right back, I promise. Told you I'd be right back. Alright. Thunderbolt, you're going to hit the sack. Don't hit it too hard, it might hurt. Ha ha ha. Anyway, good night, brother. Okay. All right. You know, a lot of these, a couple of encounters. What's my favorite metal band? Right now, my favorite metal band that I listen to, I don't know, I'm listening to a bunch of different music right now. I like this band called Horror, but it's spelled with 9, so it's HO9909. And I like this other band called Three Teeth. But if I'm gonna, I listen to a lot of Faith No More, and Mr. Bungle. The new Mr. Bungle album is the best, I think. Probably the best album out. I like Deftones when they do covers of Weezer. When the Deftones do cover songs that Weezer did, I like that. I never was a big fan into Weezer too much. You're a music snob? Only Nirvana, Hendrix, Bob Marley, and Guns N' Roses? Well, the best. That's only your choice of the best, you know? To me, Marley's, ugh. Hendrix is awesome. Nirvana's, okay. GNR's awesome, though. But I could never get into Marley. My daughter Abigail likes Marley. Megadeth is awesome, though. Deftones are one of the greatest bands out. And then the lead singer, Chino, has another band called Crosses. And that's a very, very good band if you like the Deftones. There's a band called Crosses that's really good. What's up, Troy? I just don't think Marley's musically inclined. That's just my own thing, though. Slipknot's great. El Nino is awesome. El Nino, they did a song with, they did a cover of a Faith No More song Zombie Eaters with Chino Moran from the Deftones. Rockin' with Dokken. Dream Warriors. Best album Dokken ever made. I think, Marley, the kid, Bob Marley's kid, did this band with Mick Jagger, and that's pretty good. That's a good band. I didn't mind too much. I like Body Count. Body Count's got a new album out. Ice-T's the man, though. Mountain, holy shit. I haven't heard that in a while. The Eagles. Tupac Shakur, -4. LL Cool J. LL Cool J is the fucking man. The new Gorilla albums is good. I just got that. That just came out like 2 weeks ago. That's a really good album. Greta Van Fleet, holy crap, yeah. Tool and Tech 9. Rap for me is Sir Mix-a-Lot. I remember listening to LL Cool J verse Big Daddy Kane. There was an album Big Daddy Kane and LL Cool J did, and when I had a half pipe in my backyard, and I was listening to that album and Anthrax, Antisocial, and that band called Living Color, and they were the greatest. Venom. My cousin liked Venom. I grew up, one of my cousins worked at a radio station. Duran Duran is awesome. Just released a Dogman song. I'll have to look at that. Hang on a second. I think that's another reason why I like doing this so much, is because my cousin was a DJ, and I used to go to the radio station with him, and because he did nights, and I like doing this. People can't. Otis Redding and Janis Joplin. Now there are two musically inclined people right there. No, I haven't heard from Kay. Rainbow, yes. Remember the band Yes? I liked Rainbow, and I liked Yes a lot when I was young, too. I don't know, William. Clutch was good. Don Johnson Heartbeat, holy shit. I was just watching Miami Vice today, and that song was on there. Biohazard. That's like the band that I was listening to when I had my encounter. Libra, that is your view, though. I listen to all kinds of stuff, what's up, Tales Told in the Dark? I listen to all stuff, except Bob Marley. Just kidding, Libra. I love music. I just don't like reggae. I don't know. To me, it's just it's music, but it's just not. It's not my cup of tea. You were saying green jello. Before they were called green jelly, they were called green jello. And I have my cassette when they were still, I have the original cassette from Green Jello, Three Little Pigs. Dogman does not listen to 80s hair band. Skinwalkers do, but Dogman does not. Dogman listens to Ronnie James Dio. Black Betty. I think that was the only song that Mamma Jamma did, that band Mamma Jamma did. Anyone remember the group Helmet? Helmet was awesome. They were young kids when they first came out, though. Do I like Ozzy? Certain songs of Ozzy. I don't think Ozzy should be, Lock Up the Wolves. If you listen to Lock Up the Wolves and you cut the music down a little bit, you can hear wolves in the distance, like howling. It's pretty freaking cool. I never heard the Doom soundtrack. I saw the movie. Yeah, we just mentioned Ronnie James Dio. Rockin' Steady. CCR is awesome. My dad has, what is that, Poor Willie? The album that he got in Iceland. He's got the vinyl, and it's autographed. Callers listen to reggae. Ooh. Warren Wanger. Wanger. Kip Wanger. I fucking hated Wanger. They were so terrible. Wanger. Bigfoot listens to Christian rock. Maybe. Dogman probably listens to the band Brujeria. And Dogman's favorite song is Peter Wilson. I want to hear some Warrant. A little bit of Cherry Pie. Any shadow people stories? A couple. I haven't had too many shadow people. Justin Bieber. Love Justin Bieber. Buckethead played with Faith No More for a little bit. No, Mr. Bungle. I saw Skid Row in concert. I saw Skid Row and Guns N' Roses. I saw a chick get a freaking beer bottle fucking thrown at her head at that concert. It hit her too. It was terrible. Cinderella was good. I saw them as well. What's up, T-Neil? How are ya? Dangerous Toys. Wow. Teasin' Pleasin'. The Bullet Boys! Oh, Jesus Christ. Nine Inch Nails. Yes, I've heard of those stories before with the creatures. Nine Inch Nails. There's a crazy story I got to tell you guys about Nine Inch Nails. So I was at the Nine Inch Nails concert, and it was in Albany. And God, it was when Marilyn Manson first came out. So when Trent Reznor was still kind of friends with Brian Warner and Marilyn Manson. And so I go to the concert in Albany. I was probably 20. I think I was 20. And Sade, Deftones does a Sade cover. So I'm at the concert, right? And there's this dude selling these VHSs. And it's Nine Inch Nails VHS. And I'm like, oh shit, what's that? So I give him $40 for the VHS, right? And I get home and I put it in my VHS player and I put it in, and it's the band VHS that I have it still. It's the band VHS where Reznor made the movie. He made this movie all based on the one album, not Pretty Hate Machine, shit, what was the fucking album? With pigs in it. And it was a mimic of a snuff film. And it was the craziest video I had ever seen. I thought it was real. Yes, Downward Spiral. And I literally swore, like, I'm like, holy shit, this is real. And it was March of the Pigs and Hey Pig. So then I'd love to see them. I remember I was like freaked out that I owned this video, and I couldn't believe it. And come to find out, the video is worth, that movie, the VHS is worth a shitload of money right now. And it's nuts. Good night, Pamela. I still have 8-track cassettes. Like, I have a vast music collection. I have Led Zeppelin 4 on 8-track, some Hendrix on 8-track, later stuff. So, all right, I am going to I'm going to share one more encounter with you guys, and then we'll just shoot the breeze for a couple more minutes, all right? All right, here we go. So, it was the summer of 2021. I was around 12 or 13 years old. Around that time, and to this day, my cousin Ricky and I have always loved to ride and mess around on the side-by-side ATVs. We always do it alone on his ranch in La Victoria. There's never been an issue that would cause us to be afraid. Well, on this night, everything changed. For starters, the ATV had never given anyone problems at all. The whole time, it had been owned. It has always been well maintained, so there is still no explanation behind this. This night was particularly dark. The neighboring ranches in the distance were the only lights, aside from the moon and the headlights, that gave off anything. So anyway, we started riding around the usual trails, and the ATV started acting up, making all sorts of weird noises. I asked Ricky about it, and he said something's probably stuck in the tire. So we kept going, paying no attention to it. As we came to a long straight trail, we were going about 20 to 30 miles an hour, when suddenly it just shuts down. There was no light from the headlights anymore. So I took out my cell phone flashlight and started to panic. Ricky kept trying to restart it, and it wouldn't start. As I looked back, I saw 2 glowing red dots approaching from about 100 feet out. I started to yell in panic even more, when finally it started up again. We took off hitting 40. This time it stalls out again just before we made it to the house gate. I panic even more because I look out into the brush, and I faintly see 2 glowing red eyes getting closer and closer to the ATV. For the final time, he starts it back up, and we made it back to the gate. I couldn't help but turn around and look back, and I almost was positive that I saw eyes about 8 to 9 feet high and a dark gray bony body leading up to them. I will never know what could have happened if we stayed out there longer, if it hadn't started, but I can assume that we were lucky. All right. So, we're about 2 hours in. I'm pretty excited about this. I'm pretty excited about this summer. I've decided that I am going to spend a lot of time up where Tom Messick disappeared. I have that Prince album. My mom got it when I was young, when I was a kid, and I still have it. So Prince is one of the greatest artists ever. But anyway, I decided this summer I'm going to spend a lot of time up where Tom Messick disappeared, because I think I'm looking at things wrong. I have a couple of ideas that I want to check out. Even though that 5 square mile grid had been marked off, and pretty much every inch of that had been touched, I think that I will just go up there. There's some rocky caverns just past Lily Pond Trail. I was looking at the map last night, where I don't believe they looked. And I think, to be honest, that whatever killed him took him there. It makes no sense that they didn't find a gun. They didn't find his, rifle, his walkie. I mean, how does someone disappear when they have a firearm, when they have, a walkie-talkie? But this location on the map that I saw, it goes down into a ravine. So I think I'm going to have to park past Lily Pond. I'm going to have to go up another fire road and go into it that way. It's where that location is where I had that whatever was following me out. It was in that area. Yeah, the Adirondacks, Salty. But I'm really excited about it. I can't wait to get into the woods and really, record it all. Because even if I don't see anything, I think it'll be good research, So I just saw a message in here. A subscriber sent a picture. I haven't gotten your picture yet that you drew. Let me see if it went to my spam mail. Sometimes things go to spam. No, I haven't gotten it yet. But anyway, I think it's, time to just spend some time out there and really, what's his name? Messick? What? Tom Messick. It's a case I'm obsessed with. It happened a half an hour from my house. Yeah, the FBI was there for a day. And my uncle was one of the sheriffs responsible for being there at one time. Why did they drain Lake Mead? Just because of the purpose to drain it and get the bodies out, I imagine. I don't know why. He didn't tell me why they drain it. He said when they drain it, they find more bodies out there. $7 a.m. Hey, Tracy. So, anyway, I keep pushing on people name that I want to say something, and it keeps going black and report. No, never. Don't want it to have it from only. I don't know what that means. No, Salty Texan, I'm going to use a 9 with Fort Scott tumble upon impact. They are pretty great round. Check them out. So, wasn't the gentleman? He mentioned about bodies being under Lake Mead and then being torn apart, and there's more that are being found. More that are mentioned in the news, is what he said. It was an incredible conversation that I had. What brand rounds? Fort Scott Munition. Fort Scott Munitions, not ammunitions, munitions. Check them out. They're a really good round. Yeah, it was weird to talk to him, and you could tell he was old. He was an older guy, and I had, when he had said he worked for the Air Force intelligence, and right before he said anything, I was going to, yeah, I agree, Brian. I said that too. So anyway, what was I saying? Oh, the Air Force guy. So I was like, wait a second. When he said he worked for Air Force intelligence and reconnaissance, I immediately was about to say, hey, they're defunct now. And he said, I stopped working for, I retired out of the Air Force in 2013, a year, about 9 months before the reconnaissance had been closed down. And I was like, okay. So it was a really weird conversation, really nice guy. And, so, but anyway, I 10 gauge, 8 gauge. I mean, I've got the 458 SOCOM, the upper from Tony or more that I can just slap on my AR lower. And I know that's gonna take things out, but I don't think it's the same Air Force guy, Brian. This guy really didn't want to even talk about it he's been holding this information for a while. He must have re-enlisted a bunch throughout his life. Why is that? Thanks, Levi. The Bushmaster? Probably the 450 Bushmaster. All right, so we're about 2.5 hours in. I want to thank you guys for being here this evening. It was always a pleasure, and I truly, truly love doing these live streams, and it's been such a blast. It's always been a blast. So tomorrow's upload is going to be a subscriber interview to start the day with. And yeah, it's 3:00 in the morning. So have a great night, and it's time for me to go to bed.